I knew I weren't ready. What is happening, people? And welcome back to the other side. I am, of course, Jimmy, and this is your morning brew. I am here with my morning brew. Not the fake cup that you have seen on the thumbnail, or you may have seen, because I've only just this second changed it. That is AI. I am currently, just first protocol, I am currently experimenting with AI in terms of what we can do. As I said before, I'm working with a guy, Gareth Reese, who is an absolute diamond of a fella. And we're working together on how we can sort of automate a lot of the stuff that I have to do manually at the moment. So the post-production stuff where we're downloading it, uploading it, chopping it, changing it. How much of that can we... Basically, I just love being... Oh, wait, where's my sponsor gone off? I know where it'll be. Because I haven't got it on loop. There you go. So, yeah, so a lot of this, I enjoy just being on screen and talking to people. And then the rest of it becomes a little bit, it's just a part of the job, really, where you have to post it to other platforms and advertise it, basically. That's the marketing element of it, I suppose. But all we like to do is get on with us mates and have a chat about what's going off. And this channel is all about things other than Sheffield United and other than football. And that will drip in, obviously, because that's a big part of my life and a big part of a lot of people's who watch this. But there'll also be people who start to watch this, hopefully, who watch it for different reasons. And that includes my fitness journey. I think I've spoken to Finn this week. I'm due there this afternoon. Starting from today, because obviously yesterday was my first day of the week, I'm going to start documenting in shorts my weight loss, because my accountability is shot, to be honest. As much as posting fitness journeys and weights and things like that on the internet should give you a kick, I'm doing well in the gym. I won't say I'm smashing it, but I'm doing well. I'm pleased with my progress, and I'm a very harsh critic of myself. So when I praise myself, I seem to be doing okay. Out of the gym, my discipline is shot. I cannot stick to a calorie count, really. I can't, I'm really bad. So the next part of me leveling up my accountability is posting it daily on the internet as a short on this channel, where I'll be saying, look, I've lost X today, or I've maintained, or I've gained because last night I had a pizza, or I did this, or I did that. And I think the shame of that, and people thinking, chuffing hell, what's this guy doing, might just nudge me over the edge. I wanted to talk about the thumbnail as well, actually, because, as I said, the thumbnail is AI. I've just put it into ChatGPT to give me a cup of coffee, rather than, because originally it was me thinking like this. It's one of my stock ones that I have for the Blades Ramble. I said, can you just make me look like I'm holding a coffee, or make it more appropriate for the thumbnail? And it's done that. It's thrown that out as an example. I wasn't going to put myself on the thumbnail. Shout out to my mate Cal Fowler, who I was with yesterday filming. He went through my other side thumbnails and he was like, it's good, it's good. What is this? And he looked at the Morning Brew thumbnail, which I think is aesthetically really nice. And it gets the vibe of what we're going for here in terms of a laid-back chat. No real subjects that are really pressing, but just, checking in with your mates and making sure everybody's all right. I'd encourage anybody that's not to message in or anything, or even if you are and things are going well, let us know how things are. It's to be interactive with your pals if you're available and if you're in the mood for it. So it's just a really laid-back vibe that we're going for. And he's like, what incentive do people have to join you on that stream? There's no, he says, you need your face on it. You need your face on that thing. So, right, okay, fair enough. And he's sat on 44,000 subs. So I will, he obviously knows what people want, and I will bow to his advice. So fair play. What else did I want to talk to you about this morning? Well, the one thing I wanted to briefly touch on, and it is very brief because, again, it's something I'm making myself a little bit vulnerable about, and I should probably have titled it like this, but I don't really want to draw too much attention to it because I haven't really if I'm going to say it out loud, which I suppose I'm doing now, I have to commit to it, like a lot of things, like the fitness journey that we're on and stuff like that. But I have for a long while, this is quite, it's quite a big subject, really. For a long while, I thought I had some form of ADHD or autism, but more ADHD, I think, that sort of thing. Now, that for some people, and me in times gone by, when I was a much younger and more immature man, was a bit of a trigger word for people. It sort of says, "Oh no," and that might switch some people off. That might be a case of, "Oh no, he's just joining the bandwagon of those that can't cope with their own feelings," or whatever it might be. There's a misconception, I believe, about it, and I think it's gone from people being more accepting of these diagnoses to, "Oh right, well it's trendy to think you have them," or it's a punchline in a joke of people that don't really understand it and things like that. So I think it's the 2026 version of depression. When somebody says they're depressed, this is just me talking openly and honestly. I don't want to offend anybody. Well, I've had depression, and I genuinely have had depression. I don't try and be a drama queen about these sort of things, but to me, depression is when you can't get out of bed because you don't want to see the day. You don't want to see the day out. You don't want to be, really. And that is, and I didn't have it for very long, but it was after my mum passed, and I could not physically do anything. And that sounds strange to people that might not understand it. Obviously, all my body parts worked and stuff, but there was a disconnect between my mental health and my physical health and things like that. So that's a different road that I can go down on a different day. But it used to wind me up then when people would say, "Oh, I'm depressed. I'm depressed," as like a throwaway line, because you might be feeling low, but I think there's a distinction between, which is why I'm so careful not to self-diagnose myself with something as significant as ADHD. But I know enough people. I know a great girl called Ash Tyson, who I used to work with, and she's still one of my good mates now, but she's very famous on TikTok. If you want to go follow her, I think she's got over 100,000 followers now. She's doing really well. She's a comedian, and she's very good. And I've had her on the channel previously when it was Behind the Ramble. But she has taken it as on her journey to not. I don't think she's documented it publicly, but she's convinced that I am part of this community, if you like. She's got a bit of a she suffers. I say suffers, but she has severe ADHD and is currently still undergoing a diagnosis for autism. And immediately when we first met, really within the first few days, she was like, "You're one of my guys." And it was the first time really that anybody had explained anything about it to me. And things started to make sense a little bit more. And I'm not self-diagnosing. I don't know whether I have. I think I might. But it's the old placebo effect, isn't it, as well, to a degree. So I don't want to sort of cling on to it as a bit of a crutch. Oh, well, I forgot about this today because I've got ADHD, and sort of let myself off the hook or explain it away rather than try and get on top of it, if that makes sense. It may be functional. It may not be. I don't know. So I don't know enough about it, is the honest answer. But it's something that the only reason I mention it this morning is, and I've to and fro as to whether to mention it this morning. I spoke to one of our ramblers about it just recently, who is having similar reflections on their own situation. And it's a big step. It's a big step to explore, but I think it's very of the moment. And I'm not doing that because it's a trend at all. I don't want that to be misconstrued. I want to uncover why I've always sort of described myself for the last 10 years before I even thought I had any sort of official label, if you like. Not that it changes anything about you as a person. I always thought I was wired differently, and that's how I would describe myself to people. My emotions aren't always in sync with how they should be. I remember I passed my driving test. I didn't skip a beat. There were no elation. I don't really get. I don't know. I can't regulate my emotions. Is probably one of the better ways to say it. So if I can understand this more, I can maybe cope better in terms of my mental health, and that is something that obviously I've a long time been an advocate of, sort of taking care of yourself and things like that. So again, I think there'll be other people in a similar boat. Well, I know there are, because I've spoken to one of them just last week, who are thinking along similar lines, that it may explain a few things to them. And I think it would to me too. So I'm seriously thinking about taking everybody with me on this channel to explore a diagnosis of whether I've got ADHD, but understand, not even if I haven't, it's not like I must get this diagnosis. It's not that at all. It's understanding myself more. And it's also understanding, I will get a better understanding of what ADHD and autism are, because I understand there's a wide spectrum to it. And I think to a degree, we might all be on a spectrum. Some might just be further towards the end where they're more in control of their emotions than others. So that's where I am this morning. A bit heavy for a Tuesday morning, I admit. And apologies I'm late. Andy the Blade came to pick up his granddaughters today. He's taking them off for the day, so myself and Mrs. Ramble can work. I think he had plans for a lazy day, and they both, can we go to Cannonall Farm? So we're like, well, yeah, we'll see. Oh, yeah, thanks, Dad. I appreciate that. So yeah, I'm going to check in now with everybody, see how you're all doing. I have to, again, because I'm almost there, where I can talk to you a little bit about this. Actually, again, is that a little bit of what we're talking about, where I'm just jumping all over the shop and can't really keep a train of thought. You may or may not notice I've updated the rebrand, if you like. I'm a lot more comfortable now with the font and things like that, and I just like the feel of it. As I was doing that, I've been sort of delving deeper with Christian from the Footy Social Club into how I can upgrade the setup. And there's a great thing where he's now got it so you can record vertical as well as landscape, which means I don't have to pull it down afterwards and change it into a vertical, which means editing the video significantly and things like that. So there's loads of little things that I can do, but I've discovered recently that my graphics card, being just a normal desktop, home office desktop graphics card, 128 meg for anybody that's interested, means nothing to me. It's too small, is all I know. It needs updating because it can't cope with everything that I'm asking it to do with the streaming. The computer itself is taking the load. So I need a better graphics card is the long and short of it. Statman Jack is coming up on Friday and who builds computers, has kindly agreed to, or offered to update my graphics, or at least test the graphics card in my setup to see if that improves things. And after that, we're looking at different ways we can do things. The reason I originally came onto that comment was, with Christian, I was looking at how we can pull, even though I've got a bar at the bottom here, there's different ways I can do it, but there's also a way I can get comments to come up along here, this little bit here. So I might be able to do that as well. So there'll be all sorts of little things we can do, but I'm always trying to improve, and probably to the detriment where I sit for hours and just try different little things. But anyway, enough of my waffling. Thom starts us off this morning. Hope you're good, Thom. Morning, Jimmy pal. Hope you and the family are well, my friend. Very well, mate. Thank you. Thom is one of a prime example of people who have met brilliant people through our community, which is incredible. So Thom, Jordan Motson, and Mark Meldrew all went out with their other halves the other day, and Mark Meldrew were absolutely steaming by all accounts, as was Jordan Motson. So there you go. So yes, brilliant, mate. Hope you're good. Bisto Brett says, morning, Jimmy. Coffee is cold waiting for you, but I'm looking at the positives. Posh iced coffee puts me social level up. Keep grafting, pal. Thank you, my mate. Yeah, apologies. This was supposed to go out at 9. I advertised it for 9. I have, in fact, as part of my... Oh, I can't do it now. I can't do it. Basically, I put a schedule up and I post that into our groups of Platinum Ramblers, Ramblers, and everybody that knows, so everyone knows what we're doing. I think I posted it as a community post on YouTube as well, but I don't like how it's laid out. So I've done a new schedule for next week. So when that comes out, it'll be a lot clearer, and there's no set times. So I don't have to hold myself to a time, but it's just letting people know which day, which shows are on. So Lee was in front of me. He advertised it as a 9 o'clock show, which it should have been because that's what I advertised it for. And then obviously I wasn't ready in time because I had to see Andy the Blade and make sure girls were all ready on time and stuff. So Matt says, morning Jimmy and all. James says, morning Jimmy and the Ramblers. Thom says, that Gus shirt is class, by the way, Jim. Shameless plug. Oh, yes, thank you, mate. That Gus shirt, which is Gap. And do you know designed that one? Tom Not From. Tom Not From is the designer of the Gus Gap shirt. I will be getting myself one of those. On the topic of calorie counting, he says, and morning brews, black coffee is the way forward for me. Keeps me fuller and very, very minimal calories. Yeah, a lot of people talk about black coffee. I do have to have a little bit of milk in, I have to say. And a sugar. But I'm down from 2. Had to throw my brew away, says Jack. Yes, Jimmy, how you feeling? Just popping in before the gym. Locking in now and stop slacking. Good lad. Bald and Brilliant Lee says, morning, Jim. Nice cup of tea in hand on my morning break. Looking forward to hearing what's happening. Also, mate, good luck with the weight loss and fitness journey. I also been on it since September 2004. 2004? Do you mean 2024? And probably will be going forward for a good while. Just remember, a little changes work over time. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's very fair, mate. Lee's done brilliant, by the way. Let us know, Lee, if you're still on, how much you've lost over that time. Jack says, not feeling the best at the minute. Really thinking I'm going through a quarter-life crisis. Anxiety and depression can be linked to ADHD. I'm not going to lie, Jim. This aid sending me loopy. Someone keeps walking past the screen. This what? Oh, AI is sending you loopy. Oh, apologies. Oh, with the yeah, it's the where they're putting the thing down, isn't it? I know where you're coming from with mental health, says James. I suffer myself. Mine is anxiety, good days and bad days. Yeah, absolutely. I've struggled with that for years, to be honest. And the other thing is I've tried to be a bit more organised. Those are my tablets. As in, so I've got my antidepressants in there, which is the top whack, it's fluoxetine. But I've also, because I've started at the gym and I'm trying to be more healthy, I've got things like cod liver oil and all these other tablets. I look like my granddad used to look like. You know, start of a day, I've got about 6 tablets that I need to take now. But the only one that I need to take is my antidepressant, to be fair. Everything else is just a boost. So I've resorted all the studio out. I've put them out of sight because it's just aesthetically better, and I forgot to take them for the last 2 days. So I'm off my meds, if you like, which isn't great. So I don't care whether it looks bad to have a tablet box at the end of my desk. I need to have it in sight, so I remember to take them. Brett says, very similar journey to you, Jimmy. Fell into depression when my mum died and still hurts at times, but I've learned how to deal with my triggers and have improved. Pure positivity. Brett, I love that, mate. Always here as well. You know that, pal. Matt says, hey, Jimmy, hope you're well. You still doing the Uber job? Up the Blades, up all the rambles? No. In all honesty, well, this is a bit raw as well. We've taken on Mrs. Ramble onto Blades Ramble, and I now probably need to get back in the Uber because it's very tight financially at the moment, which is, you know, that's what we want to do. I'd rather have this quality of life and be a little bit tighter in terms of what we can and can't do. But I do need to get back in the Uber, Matt. So you'll be seeing more of that because it's more of a necessity, really, than anything else, which is a shame. But that's how things are. Lee says the expo started at 9 a.m., which became 9 a.m.-ish, which became 9:30-ish. Never changed, Jim. James says, do you think the last 2 away games are overpriced? Bristol and Watford are £333. I assume you mean £33. And £35 with nothing to play for. Yeah, but I think people in glass houses, James, can't throw stones. Aren't we charging something like £42 for an away game for some particular fixture? I don't know. I didn't follow it closely enough, but they're high prices. But if we're going to do it to other clubs, I don't think we can complain, which is something that the board need to look at, in my opinion. Papa Blade says, morning, Jimmy and everyone. Keep up the health journey. The old way of 3 square meals a day, no snacks, and very little sugar is key. And Lee says, yes, it was 2024. 2004 was when I started piling it on. So far, I'm down 77 pounds, which is 5 stone, 7 pounds. Been tough, but worth it. Hate going to the gym. Love leaving it. Feeling accomplished. What a brilliant way to end that this morning. So I'm going to stop here, Dad, because last time I went on, my dad was like, yeah, you went on a little bit, to be honest, son. If you ever need an honest opinion, ask your father or ask Andy the Blade. He'll give you one. So, yeah, you're on the same tablets as me, says James. I've got a few bits from different sources, non-prescription. Okay, pal. Yeah, I think I've got an idea of what you're talking about. Things like lion's mane and stuff like that, is it maybe? Okay. Thank you to everybody for joining me this morning. Just another open, honest reflection of where certainly where I am, and hopefully that makes people feel a bit more comfortable about where they are. That's the main thing about it, really. Keep talking to each other. I'm always here if anybody needs an ear or anything like that. But for now, I'll see you on the other side.